What's going down, my Pazanos? Welcome back to a brand new special video, and today we got a little bit to cover today. Actually, recently there has actually been a video made by, what's this guy's name, DanganMandy. He made a video called the Danganronpa Iceberg Explained. Now, I didn't know this was actually a thing. I knew that this iceberg thing was something for like Super Mario 64 because there's like different layers of like different like trivia and facts about Super Mario 64. I didn't know that this was going to be a thing for Danganronpa, and I actually watched this video once, and I honestly could not believe some of the things that were in this iceberg. Just to give you guys a little bit of a warning, there is a couple of things in this video that is a little bit controversial. It's a little bit hard to take in, and honestly, if you don't really have a good heart for this, then it's probably not good. Like I was honestly surprised by some of like the trivia, how gruesome some of that stuff was. Some of the facts are really fucked up, and some of them actually legit changed my perception of what Danganronpa is. The first part of the video, like the first couple levels, are fine, but as it goes on, it gets more and more fucked up. I'm reacting to this video because of the fact that I probably was going to cover this, but I think it'd be cool for me to, react to it and, get my thoughts on a couple different things about it, just to save time, because there's a whole lot of research to go into it. So if you guys want to check out the original video, subscribe to DanganMandy, then the link in the description will be down below, as well as the end screen and all that other stuff. You guys have to check out this video and like it and all that other stuff. But without further ado, y'all, let me put on my glasses because I am a sophisticated, spiky-haired man. Anyway, let's get into this video. All right, here we go. And sometimes like this video can be very unsettling. It's really creepy sometimes. Like the end of this video,
I'm not going to be wasting much time on an intro as this video is already really long. But I'll just say what I have to say and then move on. These iceberg images pop up all the time for different series, and, well, as the video says, I'll be going over the Danganronpa version. If you don't know what these mean, it's an image full of Danganronpa rumors, theories, or anything of the sorts throughout the years. The deeper the layer /
I'm sorry I'm pausing. If you guys don't know me, I pause a lot when I watch these videos. I won't do it too much in this video. But do y'all see how unsettling this music is? Let that be a precedent for the rest of this video.
Hex is the worst or more mysterious.
But I had to do that for once.
I'll be covering each one with as much detail as I can find. And well, with that out of the way, let's just start the Danganronpa Iceberg.
This is so fucking creepy. The first part, it's kind of peaceful. It's like stuff that we don't know about. Okay, so look, obviously, he's gonna go over it. But I definitely knew about the Distrust Beta. I knew about the Makoto Nagida. I think he actually covers it wrong in this video. I knew about the Hiyoko was supposed to be a survivor, and I knew that Yasuhiro was the first victim. Oh yeah, I should probably say that right now. This video has a whole lot of spoilers in it, so you guys probably, if you don't want to get spoiled, go on ahead, freaking click off this video, come back when you're done with all the Danganronpa games. But anyway, I definitely didn't know that Akane was supposed to be the original rival. But anyway, let's let the man speak.
Distrust Beta. This beta is very popular and well known
Super
within
Mario
the
World
Danganronpa
music.
community. It's most famous for being a lot darker than the series, with a much more realistic tone and atmosphere than what was seen in the final game. In addition to this, there were multiple different gameplay elements that went unused, like a time limit or being able to choose who lives and who dies. Honestly, this beta has been covered way more times than I can count, so I'll just leave some videos in the description that go into way more detail about how the Distrust Beta went. Yasuhiro first victim. This is from the original Danganronpa 1 beta, which had Yasuhiro as the first victim for the other students to solve out. This also returned in the Danganronpa V.
They really had to do Yasuhiro like that, though.
Had Hiro being the victim of the case. This is only done so no actual spoilers happen in the demo version of these games. However, due to it being Hiro, it's basically become a meme within the fandom. Hiyoko was supposed to be a survivor. This basically would have involved Hiyoko taking Fuyuhiko's spot as a survivor, which would mean that Fuyuhiko would have died or would have been a Chapter 3 victim, but this wasn't actually a thing. If you actually try doing research, all you'll get is results of people saying stuff such as, it's kind of a well-known fact that Hiyoko was originally going to be a survivor, but
I heard that somewhere she was supposed to like replace Kuzuryu. Obviously this is fake, but not Kuzuryu, but well yeah, it was Kuzuryu. If in all honesty, I did like Hiyoko more than Soda, so I think it would have been cool if Hiyoko actually lived instead of Soda. Or how about Ibuki living in general? You don't just do Ibuki like that. I don't know what y'all's problem is. I don't know what your problem is, Kodaka, but you gotta freaking check that stuff, man. I'm about to...
There is no evidence of this actually being a thing. Not on her wiki, not on Kodaka's Twitter, not anywhere. The only evidence I'm seeing on the topic is from a Korean website on where this rumor started. However, if this was actually real, why was this only covered on one Korean website? Surely it would have been covered other places. I've checked the website, and they mention that Fugihiko and Nekomaru were originally going to be victims of Chapter 3, but they don't actually say where they got this from and by who. They just start with, in fact, it was said. So, as much as I want to believe this, without actually saying where they got this information from, it looks fake. I don't want to put this down as a completely false rumor because the whole evidence around is a bit weird, but the fact that we have little to no information on where they even got this from or what their sources are. So, for me, as it stands, it's kind of up in the air if this is actually true or not. If an actual source gets updated on this, I'll make sure to mention it. Akane was the original rival. This is another well-known rumor. During the beta of Danganronpa 2, Akane was going to be the antagonist, just like Kameda.
I remember seeing the artwork. I remember like looking on the wiki and seeing this artwork right here, and I was like, "Wow, Akane seems to be kind of important in this beta version." But I thought originally she was just supposed to be the same. If you guys don't know, Akane is like this super hungry athlete. Well, of course, if you're watching this video, you should probably know that. And she's really crazy. At the same time, though, I think this beta version of her is probably a whole lot better in terms of like her development and stuff. Because she's like just far more of an interesting character. Because in retrospect, even though I love Akane to death, I don't think she really did all that much in the story to begin with, honestly. So it is kind of sad that they actually reduced her to what she was in Danganronpa 2. And you know what? I gotta say something right now. What is up with freaking I forgot his name, the Kazuichi, something like that. Kazuchi? I don't know his name. The art director for Danganronpa. What is up with this guy and showing girls with skirts that have their booty hanging out like that? I don't know what's up with that.
Development was given a different role. We can see by these early screenshots of the game where Akane was originally going to be the rival. Makoto Naegi Da. If you get Nagito Kameda's name, you can make an anagram of Makoto Naegi Da, which in Japanese stands for I am Makoto Naegi. This is only a reference and has nothing to do with the actual story of the game. However, it's become infamous with people who are first starting Danganronpa 2.
I looked that up, and apparently there's also a thing, like, I already knew about this. If you actually get the letters in Makoto's name, you can actually have it's basically like an anagram that you can actually make into Nagito's name. So Makoto's name and Nagito's name are basically like interchangeable. I think that's maybe what he meant, because I don't really understand like Makoto Naegi Da, because it like Makoto Naegi I am like. Or I am Makoto Naegi. Like, that's not all that, like, iceberg worthy. But that's just me, though. Man, you guys are really going to appreciate this amazing music right now.
This comes from an official book where they listed the descriptions of executions for every Danganronpa 1 and 2 character that didn't already have one. For Taka's, it was basically him sitting in a vehicle with people cheering him on, and then he would get sniped from a distance. The reason why Taka's execution is the only one talked here, outside of everybody else, is because of this fan-made execution, which has over 1 million views.
I've seen this video, it's pretty good. Not link in the description down below, but you guys should definitely check this out. The one really fucked up part about it is that it kind of reminds me of John F. Kennedy's execution. His death, his assassination. It's kind of fucked up.
Us making this one of the most talked about ones and way more than the others, so if you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. Hajime was supposed to be the first victim. This comes from Chapter 1 in Danganronpa 2, in which Kameda tells Teruteru in a flashback that he doesn't care who the victim is, he just wants to start the killing. So by this logic, during the blackout, Kameda would have stabbed the nearest person, which would have been Hajime. Many people believe this, with others saying that Kameda...
And that's pulling a Danganronpa V theory. That's crazy.
...trying to bait Teruteru out instead, which is also something to think about. Red Cross Mekon. This is just from the red cross on Mikon's outfit, and the red cross on her death portrait too. It's basically a reference to a nurse's cross. Alternate color palettes for sprites. This is in relation to Himiko Yumeno and Ryoma Hoshi. They basically have different color palettes in their...
You can kind of see it. It's very, very, like, subtle here. But there is a different color palette used for this. I can see that, like, Himiko on the left seems a little bit lighter in terms of, like, her orange little shirt underneath. But in all honesty, I don't know if it's my eyes, because, you know, my eyes are pretty much fine with this type of stuff. But it just seems that the one on the left is lighter, while the right one is darker.
Sprites that go unused in the game's files. It's hard to tell a difference, but you can definitely tell they're not the same, which only raises...
Now, I don't really know the actual comparison here. I think the left part of, like, the hoodie, like the hat on the left on the Ryoma is a little bit lighter, but again, I don't really see that much of a difference.
The question as to why their color palettes were slightly different in the first place. Unused Togami without glasses. In the
I've seen these too.
You
can actually see Togami with glasses in the anime.
Sprites without any glasses on.
For like 2 seconds, but it's something.
This is here, but it's been unused in every game since. So just take it, I guess. Be sure to drink your Kumateen Morse code in Danganronpa 2. Monokuma Theater 11 includes this, which is just a bunch of Morse code. Most people don't actually know what this is, but it basically translates to be sure to drink your Kumateen, which is basically a reference to a 1983 comedy movie called A Christmas Story, where the protagonist gets a Morse code message through the radio,
and well,
it's the same one as Monokuma says in the Monokuma Theater. The joke of this is that he was basically expecting an important message, but instead got a poorly placed commercial. So the Danganronpa devs were just having some fun where the player would expect an important message from this Morse code, but instead just got a commercial, just like in the movie. Peko vs. Genocide Jack Ultra Despair.
Oh, this would have been cool. I think a really missed opportunity about Ultra Despair Girls is that you can't really actually see the remnants of despair. You can't really, there's no other like remnants of despair besides Nagito. I think that's a missed opportunity, in all honesty. I remember seeing that there was online, there was actually some fan made like images for like all of the remnants of despair and Ultra Despair Girls. I thought that was amazing. A lot of the concepts there are actually a lot better than how the remnants of despair actually look in Danganronpa 3. But in all honesty, guys, it's such a missed opportunity that you can't see these other characters in Ultra Despair Girls. I think it would have made the game a little bit more interesting.
The title says it's just a piece of concept art that was present during the Ultra Despair Girls development. Obviously, when first seeing this, it would imply that Peko and Genocide Jack would fight, but as we all know, that doesn't happen. Usami in Danganronpa 1. Not a lot of people know about this, but at the end of Danganronpa 1's school mode, if you complete all the challenges, Monokuma tries to give you an execution to Makoto, but then it ends with Usami saving him and beating up Monokuma, in which
was out of nowhere.
This wasn't supposed to happen till the sequel. I have no clue if this was in the original PSP version of the game.
And that's where I come in. I actually posted a comment to this video because, again, like I said, I watched this before. I posted a comment earlier saying that Usami wasn't in the original PSP version. She was strictly added along with the school mode in the PS Vita version of the game and all subsequent ports. In this version, yes, she was actually in Danganronpa 1 school mode. You can only see her in school mode. You can't actually see her in the main game unless you go to the credits. In the original PSP version, though, she wasn't actually in the game at all because school mode was also not a thing and Danganronpa 2 wasn't a thing. Also, it should be stated that Danganronpa 1 was made in 2010 while Danganronpa 2 was also made in 2012. And I think the PS Vita port was made in 2013 or it was made in 2014. I remember that the localization for the PS Vita port was actually made in 2014, so that's how I know. Also, can I mention that this fucking thing is amazing? The PS Vita is a truly unrelated... The PS Vita is a truly underrated console. Fuckers.
However, I can safely say that this is still in the Vita and the PC versions. Angie finds Kibo attractive.
See?
This comes from Danganronpa V3 art book, but it was only in Japan. In the art book, it included a character's sketches, details, and an overall profile for everybody. And in addition, each character has something called a relationship chart, where the rest of the cast would give their opinions on the character. And within Kibo's chart, where the rest of the cast would give their opinions on the character, and with it say, he's attractive, which I guess rubbed some players the wrong way, as Angie says literally nothing about Kibo being attractive within the game, so why would she just call him attractive here? Mew was made to be hated. Kodaka mentions in a tweet from March 2017...
That was far from the truth. You guys don't know this as much, but besides Ibuki, for me, it's Mew.
When I created Iruma's character, the main thing I had on my mind was a character that will rank around last place if I ever did a popularity poll. Because of this tweet, many fans have implied that this is the reason why Mew constantly insults others, with some fans believing that Kodaka wanted to make Mew an unlikable character. However, we all now know that Mew is a very popular character within the fandom, and she also ranks very high on popularity polls. Himiko, Maki's, Kibo's, and Awaken Hajime's game over text. This comes from the times in the class trials that you get to play as the other protagonists, such as the ones listed. People believe that there are different or creepy game over texts, which I can kinda see as to why people would think this, just because if you do some research, there is legit zero footage or evidence of these characters having game over screens. And when you actually play the game, getting a game over with Maki, Himiko, or Awaken Hajime is actually really hard to do, as at this point the game holds your hand and gives you either one truth bullet or makes it super easy and obvious what the answer is. Kibo's is a bit easier to get a game over with, as he has a couple non-stop debates. However, like I said, no such footage or evidence of this thing even exists. So, I went ahead in the game, went and played the trials again, and tried to get a game over with each character here. When you game over with Awaken Hajime, it gives you this glitchy game over text with Junko saying the lines,
"You don't have to look at the hopeless future."
For Himiko, Maki, and Kibo, all three
I've never
pretty
seen
much
that
have the
before.
same exact game over screen of them saying they can't do it, followed up by
I hate V3's ending, by the way. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm pausing this video a lot, but I really fucking hate V3's ending, and I'm pretty sure you guys know why. I'll make that video. Oh, I will. Y'all best believe I'm making that video. Ooh.
Sumugi or Monokuma, saying that the killing game will last forever. There isn't really a game over screen here like in Danganronpa 2, as if you give up, it just boots you back to the title screen.
This is when stuff kind of gets a little bit.
Sumugi lied. Honestly, for this
Hold on, let me look at here real quick and let me see. It's not that bad yet, but this stuff is like we're getting there now.
Sumugi lied. Honestly, for this one, I'm not too sure on all the information, but it basically comes from the ending of Danganronpa V3. It involves the whole line of Sumugi saying, "I'll hold my head up high as a copycat killer." This could mean a lot of things and has created a lot of theories on the matter, which one of them being the entire series being fictional was all a lie, and was created by Sumugi. Unused Ultra Despair Girls cutscene. There is an unused cutscene in the game files of Ultra Despair Girls.
Oh yeah, this song is from A Hat in Time, one of the best games of all time. Get it? Time? All time? Okay, I'm done.
If you look into it, it's just an unfinished version of the final cutscene within the game. It's most likely left in the game files by accident, but because of Ultra Despair Girls is a very controversial game,
man,
plus
those
the
are
fact
some
that the
PlayStation
unused
2
cutscene
concept
uploaded has actually been unlisted, which makes it even harder for people to find. And because of that, it's caused a lot of people to create some pretty over-the-top and ridiculous theories about what this could actually be. Mew's unused sprite was removed for ethical reasons. So this comes from an unused sprite within the game files, which I'm going to
I love this sprite. They should have kept it.
Sprite of Mew holding a purple spiked dildo. According to Kodaka,
she just straight up has a whole like 12-14 inch long dildo. I see her taste.
This sprite was going to be used for when she gets mad or annoyed. It's honestly not hard to figure out why they didn't use this, but it's interesting that they didn't flat out just say anything and instead said that they were forbidden to use it. Kazuichi and Mahiru were mistaken to be a couple. Okay, so this comes from the same Korean website as the Hiyoko being a survivor rumor, in which they state that within a 2012 September issue of a Korean magazine called Gamers, they did a walkthrough of Danganronpa 2 to help players, or for help people to get through the game. However, during this walkthrough, the writer treats Kazuichi and Mahiru as a canon couple for some reason, even though they have legit little to no interaction with each other in the game. So I'm a bit confused on how...
And because of the fact that Kazuichi is a simp! If you guys haven't watched that video, then go on ahead and click the iCard right up there to see that video and all of its glory.
Somebody could mistake them for a couple when writing an article. However, this was when the game first came out, so I can understand some mistakes were bound to happen. Danganronpa Another End. This is in reference to an unused alternate ending within the first Danganronpa game, and nothing of it is...
The weird thing is that it's supposed to be like the true ending to Danganronpa. Apparently that's what it was to in like the game files or something like that. I looked this up on the wiki. Apparently it was supposed to be like the true ending. Even though I don't believe that, because this ending is a little bit fucked up, honestly.
Found within the game's
files. Not fucked
this
up,
started
but it's
from this
stupid.
Page, which, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually not 100% sure where this comes from, but it's definitely official. But either way, when you translate this text, it details the transcript of the unused ending, which I'll leave a link to the wiki page where you can read all about it for yourself, if you want to, that is. However, there is a hidden CG you can unlock in the original game where you can see all the students alive and escaping a direct reference to this scrapped ending. Teru drugs...
Yeah, so basically that ending was like, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper Heavy D up in the limousine. I mean, it was supposed to be basically like a alternate ending, or I don't want to even say it because, again, like I say, it was in the game files. It was known as the true ending. So I think that in that instance, everything was supposed to be a dream. Everything was supposed to be like, not even like that was supposed to be the actual ending. Maybe Danganronpa 1 was actually supposed to end there, because I actually always have like the theory that if Danganronpa wasn't as popular, then in theory, when all of the survivors at the end of Danganronpa 1 went out to escape from Hope's Peak, I think that there was like a theory, or there was actually a theory like going around that Junko could have been lying about the whole entire world being in despair. And I remember thinking, like, if Danganronpa wasn't all that popular after the first game, then that's probably what could have actually happened if it didn't really take off. But you know what they had to do after they saw they got popular? They started to milk that thing dry, baby.
Hajime. On Teruto's last free time event near the end of the conversation,
now this one's fucked up.
Teru tells Hajime that he has made something for him to make Hajime happy, and to thank him for hanging out together. Once Hajime tries the dish, Hajime mentions that it was seasoned with something, but he couldn't tell what it is. Teru asks, more importantly, how is it? Are you feeling it already? Are you starting to feel a little weird? Hajime ignores this and replies with, what did Teru put into the dish? In which Teru says it's a secret. After Hajime says to himself, I desperately tried to keep my fading consciousness afloat, and somehow managed to return to my cottage. This gives the impression that Teru tried to drug Hajime, considering the fact that Hajime said he was going to go unconscious. I don't want to assume...
And he was basically going to date rape him. That's a little bit messed up.
That this is true, but honestly, when you look at the entire transcript of his last free time event, it starts to look that's exactly what happened. Hidden out of bounds sprite during Danganronpa 2 Chapter 1 murder. A video uploaded on YouTube 7 February 2020 by somebody called Japan Man. This video is called Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, Out of Bounds Book and Mysterious Object, and shows the person walking around out of bounds during Chapter 1 and finding an object out of bounds, which is a sign with a red light bulb on it. After doing multiple searches for where this red light bulb could be,
I don't see how people can actually play visual novel games on
and that's
console,
even if it does.
Whatever.
Apart from this sign, there isn't anything else outside out of bounds, and I was actually wondering how this person even was able to clip out of bounds, and thought they hacked their way into the game. But apparently, according to the original poster, they mentioned that they have no idea how it works, or even how to activate it, and that it just happens randomly from time to time.
Okay, so can somebody confirm this? Like, if anybody has the PlayStation 4 version of this game, can somebody confirm that this is probably like a random occurrence that happens in the game when it comes to out of bounds movement in Danganronpa 2? Because I don't know about that explanation. It seems like he kind of hacked it and just whatever.
Hero naked in game files. In Danganronpa 2, there is a shower.
Now this is, oh man, this is probably really messed up, because in this game they're actually depicted as teenagers still. You know, I'm 19 at the time of this recording, so maybe it's fine if, you know, I look at my hero in that way. But looking at somebody like Hyoko, but looking at somebody like that, like Hyoko, I don't know how this feels, guys. FBI, y'all need to chill out.
A scene involving Hiyoko and Mahiru where both of them are naked. The bubbles are used to hide their private parts, however, if you go into the game's files, you can actually find this scene again, but this time Mahiru is uncensored, and because of it, you can actually see her private parts. I obviously won't be showing this as it's against terms of service.
Don't ask how I know about this. Research, of course, obviously. I just like Danganronpa. I love Danganronpa enough to, you know, look into things like this. You know, I'm just saying, like, I just want to think.
Something to note too is that even with this uncensored version of Mahiru, Hiyoko is still censored, which only makes the question, what was the purpose of leaving Mahiru uncensored in the game files, when they could have literally just done the same as they did with Hiyoko by censoring her within the game files? Monokuma represents depression and mental illness.
I hate this one.
The only thing I could find on this was on
because
April
I hate
4th,
stuff like
2020, a website called Study Breaks did an article on the series in which they mentioned midway through the article, what really got me into this game was the fact that there are a lot of hidden messages behind it. Monokuma is just one character that, in a way, represents depression and mental illness, which can make you feel like you are caught in all this despair that's ultimately unescapable.
Damn. I really hate stuff like this. Like, there always has to be a hidden message in some sort of fiction, any sort of media or whatever, and it just gets on my nerves. Like, sometimes I just want to take stuff at face value. Monokuma is this robotic mono bear that just wants to kill all of the students and have an entertaining killing game. That's all I have to see. Okay, maybe he is the epitome of despair. He is the symbol of despair from Junko. But at the same time, I'm not looking into like deeper hidden messages, you know, in terms of like mental illness and all that stuff. I'm not looking at Sonic the Hedgehog and saying how it's nature versus technology. I'm not looking at Mario and seeing that it has like a dark like tone to it. No, I'm looking at it at face value, and I know that some people probably would see that as simple-minded, but my PlayStation 4 just actually gave me a notification, so I'm just gonna go on ahead and keep playing the video.
I do wish that this person who wrote the article could go into way more detail about this, as that's all they say for the topic, but honestly, I have no clue or theories on this, and I have no idea why Monokuma would represent depression or mental illness. Danganronpa V3 was rushed. This is just a stupid rumor put out there when people don't like Danganronpa V3 or didn't like it as much as the other games in the series, when there is no legitimate proof or evidence to back up these claims. The only thing I can see pointing to this being true is that some of the CG in the game does look very off and unpolished, and because of this it causes people to believe it's rushed. However, the only thing I'm seeing from this online is people assuming it's rushed because they hate the game. And, well, like I said, there's no evidence of this being a thing at all. Danganronpa Wii U. An article posted on 25th of February 2014, it detailed that Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc was coming to the Wii U. They gave a short description of the game, and that's basically it. I'm not sure exactly how they even got this information, as when you do some research, this is the only thing that pops up. My guess is that somebody put this on here either by accident or on purpose, and well, it's been over 6 years, so they most likely just forgot about it.
I would have liked it on the Wii U. Oh, and this is when the video kind of gets fucked up. You guys hear that music? The freaking last 24 hours or last however many hours it is. The end of the world music from Majora's Mask. This is one of the scariest songs I have ever listened to in my entire life. I'm not lying to you guys. Every time I listen to this song, I get a sense of existential dread, and honestly, I can barely listen to this song, and this is when it really started to get fucked up. So just to warn you guys, the tone of this video gets even darker from this point on, so yeah.
Kodaka wanted the series to end.
It really just sounds like the end of the world.
This one is kind of obvious just by Danganronpa V3's ending, as it is very controversial, and it implies that the series was going over to a degree. But this is all just guessing. None of us actually work at Spike-Chunsoft, so we have no clue. But there was an interview with the Spike-Chunsoft CEO around this time of Kodaka leaving the company, in which one of the questions asked was, Danganronpa was a very successful series for Spike-Chunsoft, but it also perhaps ended recently, in which the CEO replied with, it's taking a break. And that's it, that's all they said. In my opinion, by saying it's taking a break implies that it's not over, and will come back eventually. These explain that in 2020
but how would it even come back now?
Happening, a lot more news happening recently. And well, this interview was 2 years ago, so it makes sense. Mikan was sexually abused. I'm not going to be talking about this one, as there isn't really anything that points to this except for it being suggested within the game, or by how Mikan acts and how her childhood went. Danganronpa homemade Hypnotis transformation tape. This comes from
this one is messed up,
form which shares the same title as the one listed. It was posted on the 24th of December 2018, and included this. A while back, my best friend linked me to a thread on homemade Danganronpa transformation Hypnotis tapes. That's a really loaded sentence, so let me ease into it. They were like hour-long recordings you were supposed to lay down and listen to and focus on nothing else. That started off with some relaxation techniques that eased into remember Kameda's happy memories. Imagine yourself literally becoming Kameda. Imagine your white hair. You are literally Kameda. All this with the goal of putting you in a mental state where you were convinced you were this character. The problem is that human brains are kind of buggy. Now this may sound a bit concerning and scary.
Anyway, just to go on from that, please, I know that there's a whole thing about kinning a character in any type of fiction, anime, or whatever. Also, if you guys don't know, kinning means you have like a big relation to that character. Like, to say if I kin Sonic the Hedgehog, that means I'm very much like Sonic the Hedgehog in reality, which I am. But at the same time, that right there, I don't know what it is, like hypnosis stuff like that. That's like, tries to like, interfere with how you think and your mental capacity and your brain, all that stuff. I hate that type of stuff. It's really messed up to me. God, that stuff is creepy.
I mean, I don't know how...
Am I the only person I got really affected by that one?
It sounds possible if you were forced to think nothing but this for hours and hours. It's kinda terrifying to think about, honestly. However, do not worry, as this post was just a copy pasta, and it ended with a joke of Chugami turning into people. So let's just be thankful that this is a joke, and that nothing serious about this has actually happened, or if this even exists. Ibuki hanging over Tenko's dojo.
Oh, I saw this one. This one freaked me the fuck out. Not only do I love Ibuki to death, this one... I didn't expect this one.
When Danganronpa V3 first came out, somebody claiming that their friend showed them a screenshot of Ibuki hanging above Tenko's dojo in Chapter 3.
Yeah, you can see her right there, and then in her like body from Danganronpa 2. That one's really fucked up. I thought that was true.
And they said that it's most likely a reference, and that they even say in the post that they don't really want to theorize on why it's there. And as many of you already know, this is fake and it's not real at all.
Aha, yes, exactly, it's fake. I remember somebody, I went to that same exact Reddit post, somebody said that they wanted it to be real, but they couldn't find any evidence. They even played through the entire game again, and they didn't find it, and that's disappointing. Honestly, it would have been cool if it was real, because I would have been messed up, even if I love Ibuki to death.
Kichi wears a Nazi hat. So apparently when Danganronpa V3 first was coming out, there was a lot of discourse, mainly on Tumblr, of people saying that Kokichi is a Nazi, with his official art showing a hat which looks very similar to a Nazi hat. However, saying that this is one, and that Kokichi himself is a Nazi is a bit of a stretch. There isn't a point of me commenting on this nowadays, as the discussion has already been done and dusted. I'm sure just by searching it on Google, you can find many Tumblr
I can see his ass being a Nazi, though.
People arguing about this. Danganronpa 2's 17th Monokuma Theater predicted V3's
this
ending.
One's fucking creepy.
I can 100% see the connection here, however, I doubt that they would have been planning Danganronpa V3's ending this early on before development. My guess is that this is just a coincidence, but I'll read it out and then you can decide your own thoughts on it. Everything is a lie. Monokuma doesn't exist. The Monokuma Theater doesn't exist. Everything is fiction. There's no meaning whatsoever. There's no relationship whatsoever. Everything was made. Monokuma can't be found anywhere. What are you doing here anyways?
That one messed me up, like, even just now, that was freaking creepy as hell.
Zone. In the Danganronpa 1 game file, there are multiple strings of text relating to unused rooms, with one of them being called the Monokuma Zone. There is nothing else that relates to this in the game files, and we have no clue what this would have been used for or what it even looks like. While on the subject, BGD_146 is a very similar case where in the game files of the second game, there was an empty image with the text BGD_146. After much speculation, it's most likely that this is an unused background or CG that never made it into the game, which, just like the Monokuma zone, we have no idea what this could have been or what this even looked like. Suici's eye color. Okay, so apparently people see Suici's eye color differently. I've come across multiple posts online of people being confused on his eye color.
Okay, so just to give y'all an indication, like what I think of y'all of, Suici's eye color is, I don't know what you guys think Suichi's eye color is, but to me it looks like Makoto and, like, I guess Nagito's eye color. Looks a little bit green, but has a little bit of like gray in it too. So I guess it would be like a greenish gray, or maybe it would be straight up gray. I think something around there. But some people see it like completely differently.
Color differently. I've come across multiple posts online of people being confused on his eye color with choices such as muddy gold, brown, green, bronze, and grey. I won't be posting any fan art, but I do notice that when you look up Suici fan art, a lot of people actually confuse their color eye, so you get a lot of fan art with different colored eyes. Again, I have legit no idea why this is, and I'm sure your answer for Suici's eye color will be different to others within the fandom. Outlaw Run is located in Toa City. Outlaw Run is that casino minigame in Danganronpa V3 where you have to drive a car through a city, hitting as many people as you can to earn points, with Mono Kid and Mono Dam acting as power-ups along your journey. You can see some connections to Toa City. We are in a city, plus the sky is the same shade of red that we see in Ultra Despair Girls. However, I'm pretty sure this rumor is actually true. Even though the game is called Outlaw Run, if you were to go into the game's files, it's actually called Toa Run. And even more, the sprite power-ups for Mono Kid and Mono Dam are actually called Kirakuma and Shirakuma within the game's files, which in my opinion, proves this to be true. Mudakata was supposed to die. This comes from a winter 2016 interview with Kodaka with a Japanese magazine. I think it is anyways. But it's definitely an official source. The interviewer asked Kodaka about stuff that didn't make it into the Danganronpa 3 anime, in which Kodaka replies, Mudakata was supposed to die. As I recall, he was going to die protecting Naegi. I think at this point I'm happy he didn't actually die, but mostly because I want him to carry the weight of his sin, from the time that he tried to get rid of Sakakura. It's also—
Who is Sakakura again? I'm honestly legit surprised. Who the fuck? Sakakura, Danganronpa. Sakakura. Oh, Juzo. You try to get rid of him?
also mentioned that Mudakata was supposed to have an after credits scene to show what happened to him next. However, we don't see that, and because of that, the only thing we see last of him is him parting ways with Naegi. South Korea, North Korea subplot in Danganronpa 2's lobotomy image. This comes from this image in Danganronpa 2 where it shows how they worked on Hajime's brain for him to turn into Izuru. However, if you try reading these pieces of text next to the images, it's hard to tell since this text is a bit messed up. But you can definitely see the words South Korean economy and North Korea government pop up here and there. Again, it's really hard to tell what some of these words are since the text is hard to read on purpose, but theories believe that it's a South Korean and North Korean subplot put there for whatever reason.
And this is where it finally begins. My god.
Okay, so
guys, listen to this disclaimer right now, because y'all really need this, because at this point, you guys see these points. I know this is probably going to make some of y'all actually even more interested, but believe me, this is where stuff gets really messed up. So, be warned.
I just want to give a quick warning for some of these on the bottom layer, as some of them are a bit disturbing and it can be very uncomfortable for a lot of people. So please keep that in mind when we look at some of these. I know that some people would want a warning before I get into them, so please consider this your warning for what comes next.
look at these points.
Tokyo Game Show ending image. This is referring to this image right here of somebody holding their hands together at their chest. This comes from a video that was shown at the 2015 Tokyo Game Show. Within this video, this is the first time the public ever got to look at Danganronpa V3. We get to see what the old HUD would have looked like, with the new UI of the Clash Trial being shown, and Monomi, Shirokuma, and Kirokuma would be in there as placeholders, most likely because they didn't want to show off any characters as of yet. However, at the end, there's a blood splatter that comes on and says, "and more, ... then shows this image for a couple seconds before ending the video. Now, a lot of theories came out about this, and a lot of people thought this was the mastermind of the new game, but the thing is that this image doesn't appear anywhere in Danganronpa V3 at all. And because of this, it made me believe that this was an earlier CG within the game, and at first I even thought this was a beta version of Tsumugi, as it actually matched up a lot. But then I made a discovery that I believe uncovers who this actually is. It's Chiaki. Now let me explain. When doing research, I cannot find anything on anyone saying that this is Chiaki, except for this comment 2 years ago on a Weeby News video covering the same topic. But let's look at the evidence here. There is nobody else in the series whose outfit actually matches this, apart from Chiaki in her Danganronpa 3 anime outfit. Plus, this video...
Oh. Yeah, that does make sense, but it still does match up with Tsumugi's beta outfit, though.
Video came out before the Danganronpa V3 anime aired, and in my opinion, the "and more ... wasn't referring to Danganronpa V3, but in my opinion says that Danganronpa will be coming in another form, which is the Danganronpa 3 anime. Either way, I don't see who else this could be, and out of everybody, Chiaki makes the most sense.
That's kind of unsettling.
KamyKam cuts off finger.
Oh my.
This story
God.
dates back to 2017. I'm not sure what month exactly, as some of the details are still missing. However, the story starts that a KamyKam cut off their finger and recorded the audio in a Tumblr post. The original count has been deleted, but somebody reposted it soon after it was posted. I'm not going to play the audio, nor am I going to link it, as it's kinda disturbing. But this isn't the end of the story, as there are still a couple things that we need to talk about. One of them, which is the main question, is this real or fake? A lot of people claim it to be fake, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was. However, there isn't actually any confirmation that it's fake at all. When you try to research and gather evidence, you just get people saying supposedly OP said it was fake. Which my only guess is that the original poster said this before deleting their account, but without seeing any screenshots or anything, I have legit no idea if this is real or fake. There are a couple of details that people talk about, such as that they were in a Skype call and they wanted to prove that they are really kin with Kameda, so they wanted to cut their hand off, but instead went with a finger. And apparently they also did it on cam on Skype, but then somebody recorded the audio and uploaded it. But then we also see other people claiming that it was done over Discord too. So I have no clue, since multiple different sources are saying different things. Such as this post saying that they vomited afterwards, and people were spamming the server that somebody called Vincent chopped their finger off. Many people out there say the audio sounds fake, but with multiple different stories that contradict each other, the original poster's account being deleted, and there being no evidence of this being confirmed fake, I'm just going to leave this as undetermined, as the lack of evidence is just a really confusing story with no actual ending. Danganronpa Unlimited Battle is a reskin of Kenka Botcha Crash Battle. Now I know how game development goes sometimes,
this one's not all. I think this probably should have been on the upper level, honestly, or maybe even above that one too.
Developers or anything, but I think this one is somewhat true. Danganronpa Unlimited Battle is a mobile game released in January 2015, and it was only available in Japan. It didn't last too long though, as it was removed from the App Store in November of the same year. I have no clue how I would explain the gameplay, so let's just say that it's a turn-based strategy game, I guess. But on the topic of it being a reskin of another game, well, that game would be Kenka Botcha Crash Battle, yet again only releasing in Japan for the mobile, and if you look at the gameplay, yeah, it's the exact same, but with a different series. This was released months before Unlimited Battle came out, and it was also made by Spike-Chunsoft, so it only makes sense that they decided to do the same type of game, but with Danganronpa skin over it. And to prove that this is actually the case, within the game's files there are unused card icons that come from Kenka Botcha Crash Battle. Like I said, I'm not hating on the development or anything since it's the same company behind both games, so that's fine. However, since Danganronpa is way more popular, a lot of people believe that Kenka Bacha Crash Battle was a reskin of Limited Battle. However, it was not. Junko-kin Gravestones. Honestly, I don't know if I...
This one is really freaking low, and honestly, I cannot believe that this is actually real.
I can talk about this one as much as I feel like I would somehow get in trouble, but I'll try to give some details. Basically, 2 Danganronpa cosplayers decided to make a video of them walking around a graveyard, stepping on people's gravestones and posting it on their Instagram. And as you can tell, a lot of controversial stuff happened at that point, and it got to the point where the 2 people involved deleted their Instagram accounts. The main reason I don't think I can talk about this as much is because I'm sure the cosplay community and the people involved want to forget about this and move on. So instead of trying to bring up a detailed analysis or whatever, I'm just gonna leave it as that, as respects to both people's stance on the subject. Why Danganronpa V3 was banned in South Korea? Oh boy, this one. So on
Seriously, that one was really messed up.
August 3rd, the South Korean Game Rating and Administrator Committee released a statement saying that Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony will not be coming out in the country, thus deeming the game banned in South Korea, with any retailer trying to sell the game would be counted as breaking the law. Now, why did they ban the game? Maybe the game was too much, even though there are other games that aren't as bad that are released in South Korea. However, figuring out why this game got banned will lead you to a very messed up and disturbing case. When the Game Rating Committee rejects a game, it must provide a reasoning as to why it was turned down, in which they said, there is a concern for social disrupt due to the amplified portrayal of crime, violence, sex, and etc., which in turn would incite criminal behavior or copycat crimes. And you could argue as to why they didn't say this for the other 3 games in this series, as they all could have easily fit under this statement. But during around the same time of Danganronpa V3's release was a murder case of a 17-year-old woman murdering and dismembering an 8-year-old girl.
That type of stuff is some of the most messed up stuff I could ever, you could ever hear in your life. That is so messed up. God, something about that, man. When was this game released anyway? Was I 17 at the time? Oh, no, it was released when I was 16. So, yeah, I mean, I cannot believe some of the stuff that's coming out this video.
This is what a lot of people had theorized as to the reason as to why the game was banned, as the committee feared a similar case would pop up again. But the main thing you have to know is that this person wasn't in the Danganronpa community and had no connection to the Danganronpa series at all. However, since this theory was growing more and more, a website by the name of This Is Game contacted the Game Rating Committee to ask if this was the real reason, and they actually got a response. This decision was based on the game's content. We did raise concern about a copycat crime and whatnot, but the rating was not denied because of that. We determined that the game had crossed the line where it was difficult to allow in this society.
Which is perfectly understandable. It's just so crazy that this stuff, I mean, because I just never understood the concept of copycat killers, but at the same time, this type of stuff is really fucked up, and I know that some people probably in South Korea are probably like, wow, we never got Danganronpa V3, but I mean, when you look at stuff like this, or things that happen like that, it's just crazy to me that stuff like that happens every day. But I just have to say that, all my prayers go out for, everybody that was involved. The whole committed thing, the Junko gravestones thing, and of course this. I mean, even though this person had no ties to Danganronpa, still, bless their heart, man. Damn.
The Monokubs are the Warriors of Hope. This theory mostly comes from before Danganronpa V3 came out, and weird. Honestly, the best piece of evidence towards this theory is their appearance matches with their colors. Monotaro and Daemon are red, Kotoko and Monofuni are pink, Nagisa and Monokid are blue, Monika and Monodam are green, and then I guess you could put Jotaro with Monoyosuke, even though they don't really match up, but There are other small details about each that also help this theory, such as Monika is paired up with the more robotic one when she controls a robot for a good chunk of the Danganronpa 3 anime. Other hints could be that Daimon would say that he's the leader, but then Monika took control, which would line up with Monotaro acting as a leader, but then Monodam taking over in Chapter 3. Honestly, apart from this, there isn't much else that links these together, but one thing in my opinion that helps this theory a lot is the fact that what even are the Monokubs? Like, they basically have no lore behind them, and there isn't really any backstory on them, or like how they were created. So I feel like the fact that we get nothing about them lore-wise, a lot of people like to come up with these theories. The Monokuma Theater is actually real. Let's think about this one for a bit, and I'm not talking about in real life. But how does the Monokuma Theater actually work? You could say it's only for the player to see and not the characters in the game, but then you realize that in Chapter 5, Danganronpa 2, before you discover Kameda's body, Monokuma talks about having a break and shows a Monokuma Theater. And when you come back, he talks about it being a good Monokuma Theater. So, if the theory is that Monokuma Theater is only for the player, how does this work? If you say that Monokuma just fourth wall breaking, then when he said the Monokuma thing out loud, why didn't any of the other characters get confused or ask what he's talking about? You could also say that since the Future Foundation was watching Danganronpa 2, the Monokuma Theater is actually real and is being shown to the Future Foundation. But then this would also bring up the question, how would Monokuma know about the Monokuma Theaters in Danganronpa 1? It's very touchy and very confusing, as I have literally no clue on anything further than this. And I won't even be questioning the ones in Danganronpa V3, as the ending puts a whole different thing on the situation. IRL killing game on Instagram. As the name says, and as the screenshot in the iceberg shows, this was an Instagram account called IRL.
You know, I've been a part of actually some RP killing games on Discord and everything, even some Instagram stuff. But I always thought, like, you know, this is where we should, you know, take it, and this should be like the limit. But knowing about this was kind of crazy to me, that some people would actually take it this far. You know, when you when you really think about it, you know, a lot of Danganronpa fans would be like, oh my god, I'd really love to be a part of a killing game. No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to be a part of a group of people who have a lot of ideologies, all going through the same thing, all going through a whole lot of peril, and you guys want to have a good class trial. You want to have that one moment in a class trial where you're actually important and actually, you know, pointing out some good things towards a class trial. You want to be smart, you want to be sociable with people and other stuff like that, and you want to go to school with them and have like similar goals and all that stuff. That's what you want. You don't want to have a killing game where you kill off your friends and where you actually have to choose between a whole lot of people who are actually possibly the culprit, and as well as having distrust amongst your group in general, to where even more killings happen. People just don't realize that. It's like when people say that they want to live in a world with Naruto. So you want to have a world where you actually have your friends die in front of your eyes in crazy, gruesome ways? It's crazy to me.
Killing game. It said that they have 14 students, and made their post said this. This is not an online
Wow, they have more followers than me.
It's in
Follow me
real
on
life.
Instagram.
Do not join if you are scared of death. Rules. 1. You can't leave. 2. Don't panic. 3. If you die, you're dead forever. 4. If you get caught, you'll be executed. 5. You must be okay with putting your life on the line. Then they detail that you must use a sign-up form. As you can expect, this obviously attracted many people to try and DDoS or even hack the person's account. I don't have screenshots, but I do know for a fact that it was all just a troll, and it was a 14/15-year-old behind it. They said that they weren't trying to do an actual real-life killing game, and that they were only trying to have fun. Then the account was deleted, and then other people would make posts about this and use it as an example as to why Danganronpa has a bad fandom, which no, that's not how that works.
Nah, I personally believe that Danganronpa has one of the best fandoms of all time. There is some really passionate and very creative people in this community, as well as very, like, positive people too, because, you know, one time I was in a Danganronpa Discord server, and everybody was, like, very open to me. Everybody was very supportive of me and all the other stuff, and I just definitely don't see where people get the Danganronpa fandom being bad. Danganronpa's fandom is actually pretty damn amazing. Actually, it's pretty content, and hey, we have fun around here. Just knowing that a lot of our waifus and our husbandos are dying in a killing game. It's amazing around here.
At all. You don't judge one person's doing a stupid thing and then judge a whole community for it. That's not how that works. There is another account that I found doing something very similar, but apparently it's just a shitpost, even though there isn't really a joke here. Plus, they made one
RP killing game named 10 to 20 only. Woo! Let's go. I'm just kidding. Satire, don't call the cops.
Really got us, nice one. So there we have it. That was the entire Danganronpa Iceberg explained. I've been working on this project for about 3 weeks now, so I'm glad I'm finally been able to finish it. But more importantly, I just really hope the viewer, you out there, enjoyed watching it. And if you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it, and just thank you so much for watching. I'm not sure if I'll do something similar to this again, but I have a lot more video projects coming up, and I'm really excited to share them with everybody.
Is that a Canon camera?
I'll see you in another video. Bye.
Wow, that should be added on the Iceberg. That's a Canon camera. It doesn't have the logo, but that is obviously a Canon camera right there. But yeah, go on ahead and check this channel out if you guys want to. You guys should. I mean, this video is pretty damn amazing. But with that being said, guys, that is the Danganronpa Iceberg explained. My God, like I told you guys before, like, this is a really crazy video. There's a whole lot of weird stuff in this iceberg, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's other icebergs of other fandoms. If you guys want to recommend me some really crazy ones. The ones that I was mostly interested in were the creepy ones about Danganronpa, because Danganronpa is one of those series that, like, I wish it was a little bit more creepy than what it was, because creepiness for me invokes despair in me, and, you know, of course, you know, you had despair, you know, you're trying to turn that into hope. You know, like, you might as well have as much despair as you can, but I understand that, you know, just like fear, despair can be subjective as well. So I really want to know, like, there probably is some other stuff about the Danganronpa, like, series in general that might have a little bit more creepy stuff. What do you guys think is actually the most craziest little trivia, like, what was like the creepiest facts for you in this video? Because honestly, I think that the whole thing about the Junko gravestones thing was pretty damn creepy to me. That one was really fucked up. Like, god damn, are you really that disrespectful to people like that? Anyways, guys, it's gonna be the end of this video. Don't want to keep going with this long ass video as much as it is. If you guys like this video, like this video, and if you guys like what you saw and you want to see more, why not subscribe to the channel? I have a Twitter, which is KamyKam77, which you guys should follow, as well as a Discord, link in the description down below. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good night or day whenever you're watching this, and as always, hasta.